for any inconvenience that this may have caused. But I would like to continue forward with the meeting because I am very excited, as I know 10 very special people are. So item 1, apology for absence. Apology for absence. Thank you. Sharon.
Thank you. Yes,
Yeah.
Mayor.
Okay.
Thank you. Okay, thank you. Apologies for absence have been received from councillors Ben Coleman, Sally Taylor, Anne Rosenberg, Paul Alexander, Nikos Souslis, Patrick Walsh, Jackie Borland, Andrew Dinsmore and David Morton.
Mayor, one further apology for this second meeting, Councillor Afonso.
Thank you. Are there any declarations of interest? Item 3, freedom of the borough. It is with great pleasure that I welcome Tara Flood, who was the chair of the commission, Kate Betteridge, Victoria Bucknell, Ali Gemma, Martin Doyle, Mike Cannon, David Isaac, Ramona Williams, Jane Wilmot, OBE, and Kevin Caulfield. And their members, see, I clapped too much. I clapped and members of their family and friends to the meeting. So I call upon the leader, Councillor Stephen Cowan, to formally move the report and its recommendation.
Formally moved.
It's the report and its recommendations agreed. In recognition of their selflessness of service to improving the lives of the disabled people in the borough, the council confers the honour of the freedom of the borough. I call upon Councillors Cowan, Lloyd Harris, Apthorpe, Jones and Vaughan to give speeches, please.
Thank you very much, Mayor. I should begin, for all people not familiar with municipal life, in setting out that this is an extraordinary thing. It is extraordinary to award any one individual a freedom of the borough. It bequeaths all sorts of rights, some of them a little obscure, but most importantly, it is a chance for us to say, as representatives of the wider citizenry, thank you for what you have done for everybody to enrich our lives and make our borough safer, stronger and kinder. This journey for me started off as a student. I say that in the loosest possible term. I was actually invited by former councillor Reg McLaughlin to be a pub on Goldhawk Road, which was specifically designed as fundraising nights for the campaign against cuts, which was run by Kevin and Tara. And I went because why not? I wanted to learn, but I didn't quite realise on that first evening in the quiz night what a 20-year journey that would be for me, and something that has been one of the most enriching ones in my life. They set about, Kevin and Tara and Debbie Dom and David Small, telling me what the world would look like from a perspective of a disabled person. They taught me about the difference between the social model of disability and the medical model of disability. And they urged me, as the leader of what was at the time viewed hopeless opposition, might give you some hope. They urged me, if ever the people of this borough bequeathed power on us, we should exercise it with everything they had taught me at the forefront. And that's what they have led us to do. Shortly after winning the election, Tara and Kevin agreed to set up an independent Disabled People's Commission. Mayor, you will remember being one of the proud members of that amazing commission. Its work, nothing to disabled people without disabled people, didn't just change our administration over the last 10 years. I was very proud to hear it being given to Theresa May by a disabled resident living in our borough, who happened to be a Conservative special advisor to the Prime Minister, but he had given that report to Theresa May and said, we should just do this. And that's, you might say, a surprising thing, but it's not when you realize that Tara had given evidence to the United Nations, given evidence to the European Union, and that here we are fortunate enough to have a formidable team of disabled people who have taken the civil rights fight for the wider rights of disabled people everywhere across our nation and around the world, based out of Hammersmith and Fulham. So we celebrate that tonight. We celebrate fierce-hearted, smart arguing, compassionate, informed campaigners who have done their bit to change our world out of this bit of West London. So tonight, as we say thank you to Tara Flood, Kate Betteridge, Victoria Brignall, Ali Bademia, Martin Doyle, Mike Gannon, David Isaac, Ramona Williams, Jane Wilmot, OBE, Kevin Coffield, and indeed, although you've turned down the freedom of the borough for understandable reasons, Madam Mayor, to yourself, Patricia Quigley, we say thank you to all of you who lit that flame and allowed all of us together as allies to carry the torch to change the world forever. This fight is by no means over, but it's a start like all great fights. And it's a start that can have a long path forward. I think we're on the cusp of seeing radical change. And that change will happen because you made it so. I cannot thank you enough and express my personal gratitude for what you have done to teach me. I remember tonight Devi Dom, who isn't here, but would phone me up and ask me to come to her house while she would explain to me what it was like as she was hoisted from her wheelchair into her chair and tea was placed into my hand by her PA. There's been many people in this fight, but tonight it's you that we say thank you to. And as you walk out,
totally was in a different country, having a conversation actually about some of the things I do in development, land development, and somebody mentioned Hammersmith and Fulham and as a beacon of disabled people's the work of the Commission. And likewise, you know, the fact that somebody handed this to Theresa May does not surprise me. That the impact of your work here has reached across the world far and wide. So I'm tremendously proud of the Commission. I'm tremendously proud of the administration enabling that to happen. And I think the work that has been done has had a great deal of impact, as has been said earlier in the previous meeting, on people I don't know that you will never know. So I am my sincere congratulations. I think this is thoroughly deserved, and you should all be very proud of your achievement. Thank you very much.
Councillor Vaughan, you'd like to speak?
Thank you, Ross. Thank you, Mayor, for allowing me to speak on this special occasion. Just to recap, the Disabled People's Commission was set up in 2015 and produced its groundbreaking reports at the end of 2017. So we've had the benefits of that work for some time now. As others have mentioned, it really cemented the need for co-production in the way that the council produces its services and develops policy, including, as others have said, the development of the civic campus, which has clearly been a very good example of that. And the sort of mantra, which is sort of about disabled people, that's rung loud and clear, I think, is the one that has been heard for many years, which is nothing about me without me, which is really the centre of what co-production is about. But the route to the Disabled People's Commission and the subsequent work didn't really start there. Councillor Cowan has mentioned a bit about how a number of the people before us have worked in the borough and campaigned actively over the years. And I've had the privilege of knowing several members of the Commission for many years before 2017. Several of them have campaigned in particular, and this was what Councillor Cowan was referring to, campaigned against the reintroduction of home care charges that took place in 2006 and against other cuts. Unfortunately, that particular reintroduction was a breach of the trust that was talked about elsewhere in another meeting tonight. But the abolition of those charges in 2015 was really the culmination of some of that fight. But what I'd really like to say is that we're really privileged in Hammersmith and Fulham to have such a strong set of characters, the ones you see before you tonight, who have also served in other ways, such as on the council's PACs in various ways, particularly on the health and adult social care pack, or social care pack as it's been over the years. And that privilege of having these people has extended to them continuing to be involved in the work to embed co-production within the council as officers, as active participants in co-production, with the example particularly of the civic campus, and although not specifically being honoured tonight, as mayor of the borough. I'm particularly glad that also that the work on the transition from children to adult social care, of which the Preparing for Adulthood team is a part of, is also part of the work that the Commission has worked on. We're still on a journey, I think, on co-production, but we've learned a lot from these great individuals, and our borough is much the better for it. And I hope, as others have said tonight, that the beacon lit here in Hammersmith and Fulham can spread further across the country. So, in conclusion, it's great to be able to say thank you to a group of people who have been helping to shape our borough for the better. Thanks for the inspiration you bring, the zeal you bring to it, and the lives that you have made at least a little bit better. Thank you.
Thank you. So I'm now going to invite the recipients to come forward to receive their scroll and give us a short response if they want. I've asked my consort Florian to help me present the scrolls and photograph will be taken later. But before we do that, I have to nip around so I can help with the scrolls. Right, can people hear me? Yep, okay. So the first one to come forward is Tara Flood, our wonderful chair.
Just get a quick photo.
Oh, yeah. Oh,
I'm sorry, that's it. Fantastic. Looking this way. Same again for me. Thank you.
The floor is yours.
Thank you. Never one to miss an opportunity to get on the microphone. Thanks very much. I think the sort of hiccups that we had with access earlier really give you a sense of just how far there is still to go in terms of the struggle disabled people have for our rights, equality and inclusion. But I wanted to start by saying a few thanks. Really, I'm a bit blown away, I'll be honest. I thought, oh, freedom of the borough, what can that mean really? But when you see it in practice, you think that's pretty fantastic. That's pretty fantastic. But we wouldn't have got to this point in 2024 without a huge team effort. I think what I did was chaired an amazing group of disabled people who came together and brought skills and experience of living lives of disabled people in Hammersmith and Fulham, but really understanding what the world meant as disabled people. And I think we all realised right from the beginning that this was probably a once in a generation opportunity to do something big or go home, quite frankly. So we could have tweaked around the edges, thinking about small bits of work that we could focus on. But I think we came to a decision really early on that actually the biggest barrier to disabled people's lives was not having access to decision making, not having access to power. So we thought what we needed to focus on was co-production, this idea that disabled people should be partners in decision making, partners in change from the beginning of a process. There is no point coming to the table when the decisions have been half made. And I think 6 years down the line, we're far from perfect, but we are 7 issue-focused co-production groups led by disabled residents. We have an overarching co-production matters H&F group, of which those groups are all represented. That's co-chaired by Councillor Sharon Holder, who is the lead for co-production, and Donna Fenner, who is a disabled resident representing Action on Disability. And we are making progress. It's not easy. I can tell you it's not easy, but we are making progress. Things feel different in Hammersmith and Fulham. And I thank so many people for making that possible. I thank our glorious leader, Stu Cowan, who has been an ally, as you alluded to, for many, many years to disabled people. And I thank you for that. I thank... Right, Donna, I've just spotted you upstairs. Hello, hello. My fellow commissioners, who we all worked for 18 months, nearly 2 years, in such a collective way, I guess because the experience that we all share is disability. This idea of being excluded for no other reason than we have particular impairments, and that's not right. And we all understood that things needed to be different, and that was fantastic. I also want to thank all of the disabled people in Hammersmith and Fulham who have really embraced this idea, this pioneering idea that actually nothing about disabled people without disabled people is possible to model when you have political commitment, when you have a council commitment to making that happen. And so I thank everybody who I know have felt really cynical about the possibility of making this happen. But honestly, I wouldn't be around still if I didn't think that we were going to make this happen. And I'm going to stop talking because I know lots of other people want to speak too. But I thank you for this fantastic honour. I wish my mum and dad were here to see it. They would be blown away by it. So thank you so much, Mayor Quigley, Tricia. I'll pass back to you.
Thank you, Tara. And the next one to come forward, please, is Kate Bettridge.
I think it's a bit forward, because I can see the light in this.
Yeah.
I said, just a little bit more for me. That's it.
Yeah.
That's perfect. Fantastic. Thank you then for the- Lovely. Thank you.
Sorry. It's been more organised.
Okay, thank you, everybody. Like Tara, I am also blown away by this, so I feel so privileged to receive the honour. Those of us who support the borough through the involvement in co-production, we're determined to help reimagine the way we do things in L&F. We're committed to making systems fairer, more efficient, and above all, inclusive for everybody. Co-production can be challenging. It means being willing to compromise on how we do things to make sure we deliver better outcomes. But ultimately, co-production makes sense, and involving disabled people on equal terms mean that obstacles we face every day become the focus of our solutions. So thank you for this, everybody, and I'm just so glad to continue to support our work. And Tara and Kevin, you are such great leaders. Thank you.
Thank you, Kate. The next one on the list is Victoria Bricknell.
I'd like to thank the Mayor and the Council for giving me this honour. When I received the letter informing me about it, I was completely stunned. I never ever expected to receive anything like this. So thank you, everyone. I'm very proud to live in this borough. In this borough, we recognise that diversity is a strength, not a weakness. We celebrate the fact that diversity enriches our community. And we know that whatever our backgrounds, whatever our circumstances, what we have in common is more important than what divides us. I won't talk too long. I'd like to just dedicate this honour, my own honour, to two groups of people. First of all, I'd like to dedicate to my PAs. They enable me to do my job, to do my voluntary work, and live an independent life. And their support is absolutely vital to me. And finally, I'd like to dedicate this honour to my parents. Sadly, they can't be here tonight. My dad was too ill to attend. My mum died 5 years ago of cancer. And without them, I wouldn't be here tonight. Their practical, emotional support, their advice, their inspiration, they without them, I wouldn't be here tonight. So I want to dedicate them as well. Thank you.
And the next on the list is Ali Botima.
Hello, everyone. Thank you for inviting me to come here. My name is Ali Bohdema. I have lived in Hammersmith and Fulham over 20 years. I have had the privilege of working with the Disabled People Commission, which results in the report titled Nothing About Us is Without Us in November 2017. This report reflects the desire of local disabled people. The Commission's vision was to establish a new way of doing things where disabled residents, councillors, officers, and other organizations in the borough work together in a manner that value and respects the rights of local disabled people.
Thank you, Ali. The next person is Martin Doyle.
Thank you very much. Just put it down again for me. That's it, just there. Fantastic. Same one for me. Lovely. Thank you.
Door's all yours.
Thank you. Okay. I wasn't even expecting this, so thank you very much. I basically didn't get the email. I got a text from a mate of mine saying that Tara wanted to invite me to an award ceremony, and I was like, seriously? Me getting an award? Never in my million years. But no, working with all of these amazing, lovely people down the years has absolutely changed my life for the better. And I really enjoy working in Hammersmith and Fulham. And I really love helping other disabled people just like me get work. And myself, was a play worker for about 12 years. I'm a security guard doing football matches, and that's not a mean feat, trust me. It's hard, to say the least, but I'm coping with it. And I really don't even know what else to say. I thank everyone for giving me this award, especially you for giving me this award. And without you, my life would not be living. So thank you very much.
Well done. Can you help me, please? Do you want to take it over?
I'll take it later.
And the next on the list is Mike Cannon.
Same again for me. Lovely, thank you.
Well, thank you very much. Can hardly follow people like Martin there, but I think first of all, and fail, yes, but yeah. I mean, when I joined the Disabled People's Commission, I really didn't really appreciate the scope of what it could achieve, but it couldn't have been really done without people like Tara, Kevin, Jane there has carried on her work with the work on the Civic Campus, which I started off to begin with, but because of illness, I couldn't follow through. For me, it's a great thing to have been involved with, and it's a great honor to achieve this. I was, just for your interest, I was born in Hammersmith Hospital. I'm old enough to remember trying to get Johnny Haynes' autograph because I'm a Fulham supporter. I feel very strongly that what was started in the borough can be achieved elsewhere, but broadened a great deal. I'm currently co-chair of Maystar Residents Association, and the concept of nothing about us without us applies to everyone across the borough. And it can mean at times taking on the council, taking on officials, and taking on councillors as well at times, because it's difficult for them to grasp the needs of people like us. We have very many different kinds of disabilities, but we are basically people. We're people who should be listened to. And I think with the Disabled People's Commission, we've gone some way to achieving that. We've got a long, long way to go. But thank you very much for this award. It's a great honor for me. And to follow people like Barry said, who I knew when I was in the Labour Party, but also George Cohen, of course, the Fulham right back and England right back. It's a great honour to be listed amongst them as well. So thank you very much. Thank you.
Well done, Mike. Congratulations. And the next on the list is David Isaacs.
Thank you.
David?
Thank you. Thank you very much, everyone. Much like everyone else, I'm really, really grateful and blown away by this award. The outcome of the report and the work in co-production has meant a lot to me. It's more than what we're doing for the council. Co-production obviously is not is not good for the dog, but co-production gave me back the passion that I lost when I lost my sight. The work that I do in co-production now comes from the work of the commission. I now work, for those of you that don't know, I now work for the council as a co-production coordinator. After the work in the commission, I joined several resident groups working with the council doing co-production. I can't I can't compete with you, young lady. Sorry. John, will you take it, please?
Doggy's trying to compete.
Thank you. I have to really congratulate and thank the council for the work that they're doing in co-production. Co-production is a long game. Generally, councils come in for a 4-year term and they look for quick wins. It takes great insight and forethought to work for that long game, to plan ahead for hopefully, God willing, for the current council, but to invest in the future of the borough rather than the future of the council, the party. It's a wonderful thing. I've lived in the borough for a while now, and much like my parents who lived here for many years, I'm very proud to be a resident in the borough. Thank you ever so much. I'm sorry. Thank you.
And the next on the list is Ramona Williams.
Thank you.
Ramona, here's the mic. Are you able? Do you need help?
No, I'm okay. I'm just nervous. I was quite surprised I got this award. I almost didn't answer the phone because it came through as a withheld call, so I decided to answer it. So this probably would have been an opportunity missed. I just have a few words to say, and I would like to say I'm truly honored to be I'm truly honored to receive this honorary Freedom of the Borough Award. I want to express my heartfelt gratitude to the council for their recognition and support, and well as those who nominated me for this prestigious accolade. I am grateful for the opportunity that was given to me to be part of the Disabled People Commission and the other projects I was involved in. And I am thankful for the collaboration and camaraderie of everyone I have worked with. I'd like to give a special thank you to Stephen Cohen for the leadership and dedication to creating a more accessible and inclusive borough for all residents. It is a privilege to be a part of this community. And one thing we must remember is co-production is very important for disabled people. Through doing this project, I've been able to go on and do other co-production work to be for people who live with sight loss. So other organizations can be inclusive and not think of disabled people after they finish their projects. It's best to include us from the beginning. And I'd like to say thank you.
And the next on the list is Jane Wilmot.
Hello, everyone. I'm absolutely astonished to be joining a wonderful group of people to receive the freedom of the borough. It's an absolute privilege to do that, to receive it, and thank you. All these years, I have worked with many colleagues right across the borough and have been involved in so many projects. 3 of them I'm very proud of in co-production. I have been co-chair of the Hammersmith and Fulham Civic Campus, where we are trying to be very inclusive. Now, the reason why I'm proud to do this is from Steve Cowan, who told us he wanted the Civic Campus to be fully accessible and inclusive. He also wanted it to be a place where people feel safe and welcome and included. Thank you, Stephen. I'm also very proud to be co-chairing with an amazing group of residents to try and make our street environment more inclusive. And Steve Cowan said, no good having an inclusive town hall without trying to do something about the street environment. So I'm trying to respond to that. And finally, I'm very proud to be trying to inspire the planning department to get developers to be ruthlessly inclusive. Being ruthlessly inclusive is a mantra, because it means that nobody can get out of it. It's everybody's responsibility. And it's a very shorthand for really thinking, everybody thinking things through from the perspective of disabled people. So I'm very proud to receive this award, and thank you.
Yeah, well done. And the last one, well, I say, is Kevin Caulfield. assuming Kevin would like to say a few words.
Well, wow, what an evening. I'm so delighted personally to receive the freedom of the borough. I've been a borough resident for over half of my life, and I love living in Shepherd's Bush and amongst such a feisty bunch of disabled people that we were on the Disabled People's Commission. I think this evening provides an opportunity to celebrate everything that we have all achieved together. And as we know, it is not often that 10 local disabled people get recognised in one go for our contribution to leading on public policy. It is probably another first for Hammersmith and Fulham. Like the groundbreaking work of the Commission itself, that it was the first local area-based disabled People's Commission in the country, made up of just 10 local disabled people having ideas, telling it like it is, planning solutions for ourselves, and resourced by the council. I was very fortunate to be employed by the council to provide the policy and practical support to the Commission, and then work with Tara as co-production for strategic lead on co-production until I retired in December. Disabled people across this country have fought for over 50 years for a right to independent living, a right to have a day-to-day life like our non-disabled peers, and to have as much choice and control in our lives as possible. And that's not much to ask. This award for me is at the heart is local disabled people campaigning. Has always been strong in the borough. And when we first met Steve, Councillor Cowan, he was the leader of the opposition as we campaigned long and hard against the previous Conservative administration who were consulting to implement a new charging policy. That policy would charge disabled residents for essential support and services to live independently in the community, even though they had a manifesto commitment in 2006 not to charge. They started that consultation shortly after being in office for just a few months. The policy was eventually and disgracefully pushed through, and we constantly reminded politicians that disabled people are voters. Our position was, if the policy is bad, it doesn't matter who the decision maker is, we are going to resist. Councillor Cowan and other councillors supporting the campaign with slogans such as £2, £12.40 an hour just for a shower, and it saw Tara being removed disgracefully from the Town Hall Council chamber by security guards on the instruction of the previous council leader, as she argued against the decision to start charging. So really this evening really highlights just how far we have all come from those dark times over 10 years ago. Councillor Cowan made a commitment to abolish charging in the local election manifesto in 2014. And as a result of that, we are the only local authority now in England that does not charge penalise disabled people for requiring support to lead our daily lives. You can see that it's vital that disabled people are involved in making policy. And who says campaigning never achieves anything? I like to think of that decision as an early example of shared decision-making, co-production, though we didn't think of it like then. where residents identified the discrimination and the barriers that charging brings, and the leader and councillors agreed and abolished the policy, and council officers implemented it. So we can see that we couldn't do it if we didn't do it all together. Personally, I'm delighted to be given the freedom of the borough, especially here in the Irish Centre. Few people realise, I think I read this somewhere, it entitles me to a free half Guinness and a packet of Tasto crisps every now and then. Although I was a little bit disappointed that the freedom doesn't come with any sheep grazing rights, as my parents were from rural Ireland, my mother from Brayford in County Mayo, and my father from County Cavan, and it would have definitely increased my family poll ratings. So joking aside, I'm particularly pleased to have my brother Vincent here today and my cousin James, who came from County Mayo today to celebrate with me. Thank you so much to everyone who supported me. You know who you are. Supported all the campaigning, which was tough at times, and I think we were treated with a lot of disrespect, and some of it was really unpleasant. And thanks for the support for all the work along the way. And my biggest thanks, as well as to the commissioners, of course, are to Tara and to my support workers who've enabled me to be a part of this amazing work. Thank you.
So fabulous. That's the end of tonight's special council meeting. Thank you everyone for attending or watching. Yeah. All right, okay. Right. Please to come to the bar for a drink while we. Show my age. Please come to for a drink while we. Right, the end of the meeting. Thank you. Yes. Can I? Sorry. I think we're all there. Can I ask all the commissioners to remain behind, please, along with me and the leader, because I'd like to get a group photograph. Thank you.
Yeah. The commission members got.
Yeah.